Oh, you poor fool. Welcome to the Chad way of playing Halo 5 Guardians. The correct way of playing Halo 5 Guardians is not by playing the multiplayer, or Forge, or anything like that, or even using the guns. No, forget all that, including the grenades. Instead, you're going to use the gun the wrong way. Get up close, and, well, get in front of the enemies, and make sure to firmly beat them down. I don't care whatever way you do it. You can do it with a charge attack, just normal punching. Try and get an assassination. Maybe that'd be funny. Launch enemies into walls and watch ragdolls fly around like it's funny bits. However, I will warn you, and I mean this seriously, you will die. Your shields will be gone half the time, and mostly, it's funny to just watch. Make sure you are getting all the funny stuff you can out of this by launching enemies around. However, be aware that some enemies will not die so easily. You will have to learn to rely on your teammates a bunch in this, because you will go down. It is inevitable. However, the enemies' deaths are also inevitable, because most of the time enemies miss their shots when you're up in front of their face. And really, knights are just big punching bags, so make sure to kill them, but you still will die a lot. Melee weapons will be your best friend for this playthrough, but don't worry about the energy. Once you run out, the weapon's not useless. You now just have a funny metal stick. Take these hunters for example. They are tough to kill, and if they hit you, will launch you probably into a death pit somehow. But do not worry, because you are faster than them, and are just overall smarter. Your weapon and metal stick will be used to just beat them down relentlessly. Observe. If you are lucky, and the game decides to give you a nice little treat, you will get the Mantis, which is just a direct upgrade to your melee button. It is great for dealing with enemies, because you are now a literal tank. Be careful around allies though, because you can and will kill them. However, it's worth the sacrifice. Turrets, you might think are a major threat, however, they are literally a pushover. They are the easiest enemy to do this tactic to, because they are stupid and miss half their shots or just never shoot you. Now, be aware of your slam ability for this entire playthrough, because it will be one of the few utilities you have to clear out crowds without having to worry about getting into a fight and losing almost all of your shields immediately. You can use them to single out hunters, like you saw at the beginning, or knights. It's an ability you don't want to sleep on. And don't worry, after you kill something, there's always a lackey lying around. The Warden is really the only enemy you should consider a threat in this playthrough. Hunters, knights, you sleep. An elite with an energy sword, you sleep. A Warden, that's some real shit. Wardens are the only exception to the no gun rule. As, well, it's basically impossible unless you get up behind them with an energy sword to down them almost immediately, which I've done once. The Warden can hit you across the arena and will down you instantly. The only caveat for using a gun on him is that you cannot kill him with the gun. You must use a melee weapon for that, or just your fist like this. The next thing we will go over is vehicles. You are not allowed to shoot with them. There's a few exceptions if it's objective related, but other than that, you will be primarily using the vehicles as a battering ram. It does not matter who is in your way. Teammates, allies, enemies, a hunter, nothing will stop you from ramming them. Or you can just use them to pass by the entire battlefield because you don't feel like dealing with an entire swarm of vehicles. However, I will warn you about one funny thing. Suicide grunts, which are the funny to run over, for this reason alone. And don't worry about the ending or lock and Master Chief getting confused on what you're doing, as they will soon understand what your goal is, and their goal is to punch things hard. Now get out there and play Halo 5 the correct way, by punching everything you see, anything that moves, and eventually you will learn that you are basically invincible once you've mastered a strategy, and you will not be able to die to anything.